Hey everybody, I'm Sean. I am here to bring to you my review, my thoughts, my analysis, and my future hopes of Fallout 4. There will be no movie time or video game show this week. I just want to talk about Fallout 4, and I'm really happy with everything that happened this past, 2 weeks now since the trailer dropped. So let's get into it, guys. First off, Bethesda announcing that they were going to have a conference months ago. I was really super happy regarding that. I knew it had to be for something special, and I didn't know per se that like insider info or anything like that, knowing that matter. But I had this great gigantic feeling that it was going to be for Fallout, because why else would they have this conference the first time ever? So that was awesome when that happened. Second thing, with all those little leaks that they've had over the past couple years, and these fake sites all over the years, and then finally one day a site goes up with a timer on it, and it actually links to Bethesda stuff, and then what do you know, it has the please be patient type of warning message on there, and that's obviously relates back to Fallout New Vegas, Fallout series in general. And you're like, there it is. I knew it was going to happen for a reason. Then we got the trailer, and I was amazed by the trailer. I've watched it a bunch of times. I've watched it on repeat at one point, or another, and it's been great. I found so many things, and I've watched so many videos breaking it down, and there was a few videos that stood out more than others that really touched on some things that if you look at it and you really take it frame by frame, you can figure out some stuff about the game. So that was great. And then finally we had Sunday, June the 14th, we had Bethesda's conference. Going into this, I had a feeling that this was going to be the conference to beat, and at the end of the day, after watching all of the conferences at E3 this year, it was the conference to beat, and I don't think anybody beat them. But let's get into it. Enough of that. They announced Fallout 4, and they showed us a lot of stuff. So let's start off with what they showed off to start their conference, their Fallout segment. They started off with some detail. They're showing some stuff regarding some buttons and things like that nature, just to show how detailed they are with this world. With that detail that they were talking about, you kind of see what they really mean in this trailer, in the gameplay footage that they showed. I mean, it's beautiful. It looks amazing. It really does. You have the textures, the landscape, the light, the use of light, the shading. It's amazing. It's great stuff. I love it. It's really good. Also, the art style from this game. It still has that Fallout texturing, that feel, that sort of realism, but at the same time a little bit of not super ultra realistic. So that's good because it still stays true to its norm. Also in this game, what you notice from all the footage is that there's a lot more color. In Fallout 3 you have a lot of grays, a lot of greens, a lot of dull and drab colors, and then in Fallout New Vegas you switch out the green kind of for like an orange, brown haze because you're in the desert, and you still have that dull and drab environment. But in this one, you have a lot more colors. You have the green, you have the orange, but you also have some blues and reds and whites. You have a lot of colors in there. It's very colorful comparative to previous games. And it looks beautiful. It looks amazing. It makes me think of this game being a little bit farther in the future, where humanity's had a chance to be successful in their growth and coming back from this nuclear warfare, this nuclear fallout. Let's jump over to some gameplay elements. Now, by gameplay, I'm just talking about a lot of the stuff, a lot of the action things that you do in this game, whether it be shooting a gun or picking up something or something along those lines. To start off, they start showing you how the gameplay mechanic works for creating your character, which I really love this. How they did this is they made it kind of natural. It kind of goes with the flow of the game. It doesn't seem like too forced. Like, it doesn't seem like, hey, bam, you have to do this. It goes naturally with something like that's happening every day in their life of your character, whichever one you choose, male or female, and their husband or wife. And it seems very natural. Just kind of goes with the flow. I love it. The next thing that they mentioned is that they have names. They spoke over 1,000 names. They ran over 1,000 names of some of the most popular names. So your name, my name, can possibly be said by players in the game, by characters in the game. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Now, don't mind my dog barking in the background. That's my dog, Dog Meat. She's barking up a storm right now. So the naming mechanic, that's really cool too. But with the characters that you make and create, you can create both of them actually. But once you exit that option, whoever you're on is male or female, that's the character you're going to be. You're going to be a male or a female. Now they combine the two and get characteristics and create the baby. That's great. That's amazing. Now I want to keep in mind that I think there are some story aspects to talk about a little later that might depend if you're the baby or the dad. So we'll get to that a little bit later. But that's great that you can have this effect and you name the baby, of course, and it'll say a name and you can choose it, and it's awesome. It's cool. And so from going from that point to the next point, they really changed up how you communicate with people, because you go around the house, you're touching around, filling things up, picking stuff up, but then you get to the point where somebody comes to your door. And when somebody's at the door, you enter in a conversation with them. They used to have the 1, 2, 3, 4, and you roll downward, scroll downward, and pick what your dialogue option was. In this one, they're doing kind of like a Mass Effect, maybe even like a Telltale Games type of style, where you have 4 options, whatever button you press on the face buttons of your controller. Now, that might streamline the game, but at the same time, it might also hurt the game. When I play Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, I'm used to having a lot of options and knowing specifically what I'm saying. At times when I'd play Mass Effect 3 or The Witcher 3, it says what is this little few words to make a little sentence, but then like a 3-sentence thing comes out of their mouth that might in a way mean what you picked, but doesn't entirely specify or go into that specificity of that little statement. So it's a little broader and it doesn't knock it down to what you're trying to get at. And so sometimes to me that can really hurt a game, especially one like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, or Fallout 4. That's why I like the dialogue options in Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. So this is a little new. It's interesting. But what else they did with the conversation, how everything happens, is the camera is very dynamic. As Todd Howard said, you could back in and out of conversations as you please. Also, the camera angle, it's positioned in a more creative, cinematic way where you can see both your characters, or maybe it goes back and forth so it looks like an actual dialogue instead of just being right on the guy's face or the girl's face. Now that change, that's a change I like. I really like that change. The dialogue option change, now that's still left to be defined if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know yet, but we will see when this game comes out. Throughout their presentation, they kept showing more gameplay. They showed the main character walking around through the wasteland in third person as well as first person. They actually showed a lot of third person. Now I imagine that there are certain aspects in the game that have been greatly increased and greatly improved upon, like the gunplay. So I imagine that they're showing this so that if you like third-person shooters or something like that, you can play that. But at the same time, I imagine that they're also showing a lot of third-person angles so they can get the world around your character and get your character in the frame. I am going to be playing first-person, of course. I want to feel like that's me. I want it from my eyes, you know. So they showed that a lot, and while you're walking around, you actually come up to a dog, and now you have a companion. It looks like a German Shepherd, a little bit different than the traditional dogs, which are mutts. But you have your first companion, and with this, they make improvements to the dog companion as well. There are times where you might not want your dog to run into battle. You want to go get the first shot or the first hit. You don't want to injure your dog. You don't want a grenade to explode where your dog's at. Something like that. You could tell your dog commands. You can say stay. You can do things like that, or attack, I'm sure. You can even tell your dog commands that are like, go to that thing over there, that chest, that case, that box. Grab me that wrench and bring it back to me. That's freaking awesome. I love that. That adds another dimension to the gameplay that we didn't have before. So now let's get back to some of the gunplay. As I mentioned before, it looks and sounds like it's been improved a lot. It looks like they're making this easier to play as a shooter and not have to use VATS. More on VATS later.
Ready to fuck some shit up?
I really like the new sets of guns, and it looks like they added iron sights in here. That wasn't added till New Vegas. It wasn't in Fallout 3. So I like how Bethesda's learning a little bit from Obsidian, who made Fallout New Vegas, and taking some of the good things and adding it into Fallout 4. As we all know, Fallout 3 came out before Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 3 was probably the better of the two, at least in a lot of people's opinions. It was some people's first jaunt into the series, so just like mine, it was. I love Fallout 3, and I'm always going to have a very special place in my heart for that, and it's probably going to beat out New Vegas every time. But in New Vegas, it definitely had some things in that game that were better than Fallout 3. One of these is the gunplay, the iron sights, that kind of stuff. So that's really, really good that they're able to take this aspect of a game that is, yes, it's theirs, but it's made by somebody else, and put it into the game and make their game better. So again, gunplay looks great. It looks like you can really go at it in first person, third person. It looks like it is a viable option. I still am going to use VATS like crazy, and I am happy that they made some improvements to VATS. I do enjoy the fact that time stops in VATS, but it also kind of makes fights and battles a little less important, or a little lackadaisical in a sense. With this, what they've done with VATS is they've actually allowed time to still pass while you're in VATS, which is really cool. It's a nice way to keep you, on your toes and say, hey, look yeah, you're in VATS, but nothing's stopped. They're still coming to shoot you or eat you and bite you, so you better make a decision on what you're going to do now. And I'm assuming while time is running in VATS still, your percentages are probably going to ever be changing because of certain angles that might be changing in the movement of your enemy. They also show that they still have the kill cams in VATS, the cinematic kill cams. So again, I really love what they've changed in VATS. I'm happy that they still have the cinematic kill cams. I love those bloody messes, and I'm looking forward to this new gunplay, this new VATS system, and this new different points of view of which ways you can spend playing your game. Some other gameplay mechanics, some other gameplay aspects is that they now have a more thorough and looks like it's insanely deep weapon crafting system. Now in Fallout New Vegas they had a weapon mod system, but not a weapon crafting system in a sense where, other than like you have certain blueprints, the same as Fallout 3, you had to have certain blueprints and you could have a rocket launcher or something along those lines. So they had slight little weapon creation things, but not to this degree. In this game they have 50 base weapons, Fallout 4, 50 base weapons, and 700 modifications. Now I wonder how much of that, what qualifies as a modification. Can a modification be a gun you created on its own with certain parts? So that's really cool though. I mean, you could turn, it looks like you could see already some of the modifications and this whole gameplay aspect in the video, the footage that they show, because you see like an automatic handgun, a laser gun, an automatic laser pistol or something like that, where it's like it's like they have weapons like that never existed in the game. Whether or not that's a new gun or something that's been modified, I don't know, but it looks cool. And I'm sure if you were to slow down the video on the part where they're actually going through the mods, you could probably catch a few things where they have different types of laser rifles or 9mm handguns or things like that. So I'm really liking this. I'm happy that they're doing this. Now I hope that unlike Fallout New Vegas, when you modified a weapon, once you modify it, that weapon was locked in. Now I hope what they allow you to do is, if you modify a weapon, you can still modify it and take things off and break it down. I really hope, without destroying the weapon, that is. Because I know in Fallout New Vegas I could break it down, but I think I destroyed the weapon. I could use it to help repair another weapon, but that was it. And that's so this whole aspect of the game is really awesome. It adds another new and better way to go about this game and how you are gonna kill and defile these enemies that you see on screen. Of course, with a weapon crafting system like this, you got to expect that they're going to have an armor crafting system. And they do. And they do have one. And this one looks mighty fine indeed, actually. They show it and they example it on a set of power armor. Now, all they show is the fact that you're able to modify and add to the arms, one arm, left arm, right leg, left leg, chest, and head. And they show that you could do that, but now it doesn't really show that you can just kind of craft a whole new piece. I assume you can, but I bet that you're probably going to have some kind of weapon mechanics, weapon schematic, a blueprint of some sorts, which is fine. That makes finding certain things in the game better and more interesting. But they are going to have this aspect, this weapon, this armor crafting and armor modifying engine aspect to the game as well, which is cool. So far, everything that they've shown has been based on some aspect of the game, but just making it better. And I like that. And you don't have to tear it down before you build it up. You can just go from where you're at and use what you've learned in the past games and get better from there. So it looks really cool. What's really interesting is what they showed in the trailer. I keep calling it a trailer. What they showed in the gameplay footage is they actually showed a raider. He was wearing power armor. So I guess power armor might be just as rare as it is in the other games, but at the same time, it might be more accessible in the sense that people can create it, even raiders, if they have enough metal, scrap metal. So I want to see where this goes. I want to see what you can create without having to have some kind of direction, and I want to see how you can mod things based on what type of armor you're doing, whether it's just the combat armor or power armor. So we'll see what we can find out from this later on, maybe if they drop another trailer or when the game comes out. Now this is where Bethesda took it even a step further. Now you have the weapon and the armor mods, but now you also have a Sims type of city building settlement type of mod where you can modify certain areas of the map and make it a settlement. You can build up, or you can break down buildings, lumber, wheels, all different types of things, and get your break it down and make it into your supplies and create a settlement. And this is awesome. This is great. I mean, why wouldn't you be able to do this in this type of game where you're going around from place to place? Why not? Okay, there's an open pasture right there. Why not just start building a new settlement? So I really like that Bethesda is adding this in the game. I'm really looking forward to this aspect. With this whole aspect, you can create more than one settlement. You can actually connect the settlements. And with that connection of them, you could actually start a trade caravan going in between them. You're also going to get settlers coming from out in the wasteland. They're going to see your settlement like, wow, I want to stay there. It's safe. It looks nice. I want to be there. But then with more attention, more people there, the caravans coming around, you're also going to be attacked by raiders possibly. You also got to deal with wild mutated animals and creatures. So it's cool. So it's now, not only is it like a Sims type of world god mode, it's also a tower defense type of thing where you have to set up your defenses, level by level, front gate, middle of the gate, inside of the area, set traps, and it looks really, really fun and interesting. Now I know I'm gonna put a lot of time into this, but I also want to see what I get from it. I'm sure this is going to be a really fun aspect to the game, a new fun aspect to this game, and I'm excited to play this and see what I can do. I want to build myself like a 3 or 4 story house with a bunch of bedrooms that nobody's going to live in. Or maybe I'll just make a hostel and allow everybody to live in there. And or maybe a whorehouse. Yeah! Alright, so now on to the story. I said I was going to speak about a few things regarding the main character of the game and what you choose when you're doing your create a player system in the shower restroom area with the wife. You create the man, you create the woman, and it says that from this you have your baby, and it takes aspects. Now, when you get out of the trailer, you look very similar. If not, you are the same person as when you enter the vault. So that makes me wonder, now, is the likeness of the baby that close to the parents where you can mistake the baby as the father? Maybe you grow up in the vault for a while, and then something happens and they cryogenically freeze you, maybe? Or is it a vault where they're experimenting, their social experiment is a cryogenic sleep, and maybe you were the male, you're the dad, and you're the only one that actually made it into cryogenic sleep? Because we all know that the machinery and technology in Fallout doesn't always work the best. So what if that's the case? So maybe your family dies off in their supposed cryogenic sleep pods or whatever, or something attacks the vault, maybe wipes out everybody else, but you jump into the cryogenic chamber to stay alive, or whatever it may be, but you go into cryogenic sleep and you come out 200 plus years later. I honestly think that's a really good option of what this story could be set around, and now you have to figure out what to do with yourself for the rest of your time. But at the same time, I want more than that. Maybe there's an aspect to this where you get wakened out of cryogenic sleep because maybe your wife and kid get awoken out of cryogenic sleep by raiders stealing the baby and the woman, maybe to rape and pillage. I don't know, something along those lines. All I know is that maybe there's more story to it. You being the last person out of the vault, other than you being the last person out of the vault, what is the story going to build itself off of? So there's got to be some kind of MacGuffin coming along somewhere in this first area that they chose not to speak about. In the gameplay footage, they also show you attacking Brotherhoods of Steel, which is interesting. Now, I've always tried to be very cordial with them and be on their side. Even in New Vegas, I was able to work it so they were my friends, and they gave me armor and everything like that. And they came to help me at the Battle of the Hoover Dam. So I really like the Brotherhood of Steel, but the thing is that this Brotherhood of Steel is going to be completely different than the other Brotherhoods of Steel, because this one is not going to be so much like Elder Lion's Brotherhood of Steel. It's just not. It might be more dedicated to the technology and less upon helping people in the wasteland. So if that's the case, maybe I might have to kill some of them to get some of their power armor. But we also saw, as I mentioned earlier, a raider was wearing power armor. Maybe just kill a bunch of raiders, get all their power armor. Now, this aspect of the story is really cool. I want to see where it goes from here. What happens with me and the Brotherhood, if I have a chance to befriend them or not. The other part of the story that there's been big rumors about is that there is an underground railroad of sorts for androids, synthetics. And in this one, it's a big argument of if they have rights, if they can think, if they can feel, or if they are property. And this is all coming from the Institute, MIT. I really think that this is going to weigh heavily in the story. They're showing synths, they're showing you fight and blow up and shoot synths. And I wonder how much on the side of the railroad you're going to be. Can you choose to be on the synth side and go round them up? What aspect of this storyline are they going to let you do? Either way, I'm excited for it. It's new, it's different, but at the same time it is taking a few cues from older movies and games. But that's okay because they're taking it from really good older movies and games. Other than that, for my story predictions, I don't know much else that I can predict. I want to see if there's going to be a nice radio station or network. There is a GNN instead of a GNR. Galaxy News Radio, Galaxy News Network maybe. In this case, that would be nice. I really want a nice radio station for me to listen to, just like in Fallout 3, and really just fall in love with it. I did see some stuff today. I read the headlines. I didn't really dive into it because I'm kind of at the point where I don't want to know too much more. But it was mentioning that there is a do-it-yourself radio aspect to this, and that's cool and all, but I don't want that. I want Bethesda to set the tone for me of what they want this game to be, like they did with Fallout 3, like Obsidian did with Fallout New Vegas. I really want that, and I don't want the soundtrack to rely on me. What am I going to put in there? Songs from the 90s, you know? Like, it's just not going to work. It's not going to have the same feeling. So I want them to really limit that aspect and go more heavily with the radio station aspect that's already been made. Also in this game, they show a lot of Boston, and this doesn't have to do with story. I should have mentioned this probably earlier, but you're in Boston, and the scale obviously has been manipulated a little bit to fill the game, make everything more dynamic. But also at the same time, you're seeing everything in this game, in this trailer, but a lot of different places, settings, and everything that's been said about it is that this game is, I think, 4 times the size of Skyrim. Something along those lines. All I know is this game looks huge. It looks so huge. I did also see another thing from Kotaku, whatever, that said even the developers of Fallout 4 haven't seen the whole game yet. Of course, that's one of those statements though that they always say, because I remember them saying that for Skyrim. Oh yeah, even I haven't seen all of the world, you know. So take that with a grain of salt. I do imagine that this game is going to be really, really big, huge in size, and I can't wait to explore it. Let's jump on to some other stuff from here. Now, in this game, they show you specifically how you get your Pip-Boy, and it's really cool. I mean, in the sense that you pull it off some bones. But in this Pip-Boy, they actually change things around a little bit, and they make it more dynamic. And by this, I mean that they have the icons in there actually move around. So when you go to your perks or something like that, you'll see the perk moving around and making, like, so if you get, like, I don't know, strong back or something like that, maybe they'll show you walking, like carrying all the bags on your back, or if they show, you know, something along those lines. And I like that. It keeps it lively, it keeps it interesting. Some other aspects about the Pip-Boy they changed or they added on were the fact that you have holotapes, so you can listen to them, and shows an animation of that. You pop in a spot, throw a holotape in, which makes perfect sense, because before you just pop a holotape was a tape, and you would go to your menus and play it, but then it would just play, you know, it wouldn't be any animation. So I wonder how this is going to work. Is time still going to pass when you're looking at your Pip-Boy, or is it going to be like the day has paused? With those holotapes, they also said there are going to be games, which is so cool because they have 2 games they showed off. One looks like Donkey Kong, one is Donkey Kong, just little things are changed, and the other one looks like Space Invaders, and it looks awesome. I want to get in there, jump on my Pip-Boy in the game, and start playing the game. It looks really freaking awesome. Now this relates to my next point. With that being said, they also created an app that you could put on your phone that can be the actual Pip-Boy, all of the menus and everything. So I wonder if you can go into there on your phone and actually play the Donkey Kong game. That would be pretty damn interesting and pretty awesome. With all this being said, they also announced their collector's edition for this game. It's going to be called Fallout 4 Pip-Boy Edition. They're actually making a nice Pip-Boy for you to get in the special edition. It's costing $120. There's not many places, if any, that you can get it at anymore. I got mine reserved, thank God. Whew. Yeah, it looks awesome, and with this you can put your phone in there with the game app and actually use it like a Pip-Boy. They said that there's cushioning in there that can fit to most phones, and so that's really cool. So I'm an Android guy, so hopefully I can put this phone in there, and even though it's bigger than some Apple phones, hopefully I can put that in there. I'm going to be playing the game, live streaming it with my Pip-Boy on, with my phone going. I'm really excited for this aspect. It looks awesome. I've been wanting to get a Pip-Boy for cosplay for years now, but every time I found one, it was never cheap. It was always $300 and up, just because some people would fabricate it out of nothing. Some people would use the clock from the old PC Amazon version when Fallout 3 came out. So, really cool. I now get to have my own Pip-Boy. I'm really happy about this. But speaking about apps, they also created another app at Bethesda. This one's called Fallout Shelter. So they made 2 games in the course of making this game. This one is only on iOS though, because they teamed up. They made a deal with Apple. So this was only on iOS. Right now, I looked last night on my mother's iPhone, and it was rated as the #1 app going right now. So there's something for you. I was gonna download it, I didn't get a chance to, but I am gonna download this on somebody's phone. I don't know who. It could be yours, one of my friends. I'm gonna download it on there and I'm gonna play it all the time. I ain't buying an iPhone. I'm just gonna use your guys's. This app looks really cool, looks really fun. It's like a SimCity. They stated, Todd Howard stated that it has some callbacks to FTL, XCOM, The Sims, and so on. So I'm really looking forward to this game. It looks like it's going to be pretty fun. Kinda, it's going to be similar to the settlement aspect of the actual main game, and I'm really interested to it. I wonder if anything's going to carry over from Fallout Shelter to give you maybe some boosts in the game. Hey, here's a reward for playing Fallout Shelter. Here's 100 rounds of ammo for your automatic rifle or something like that. Now, with that all being said, I've covered everything I think that I want to talk about except for one thing. I keep saying when this game comes out, I've been not wanting to say the release date, but they announced the release date during the show. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, it was really epic. They showed a connection between Vault 111, and they had the numbers slide apart, and the release date was announced as 11/10/15, November 10th of this year. Wow, I said it before on some of my video game shows that I really do think it's going to come out this year. I think I said October though. Either way, I knew it was going to come out this fall, and I'm freaking super excited that it is this year. I'm happy beyond explanation. I don't have the words to describe to you how happy I am. I'm keeping it really inside right now, but I'm gonna freak out when I get my game. Just watching this show I was having nerdgasms left and right, and that's not possible because I'm a male. You're not supposed to have multiple nerdgasms, but I did have them, and it was amazing. I was so happy with everything they showed off. Bethesda's conference did extremely well. Fallout 4. After watching every conference in the C3, Fallout 4 is the game of the conference. A lot of people are saying that Uncharted 4's trailer, gameplay, and stuff like that is pretty damn good as well. But this game has more to it than Uncharted 4, and it's been expected and been waited on by more people. It has more overall going for it because of these aspects that I do think that Fallout 4 was the game of E3. I wouldn't understand why anybody else would pick anything else. It's been since 2008, so 7 years that we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting, not a freaking mention of this game has come out from the developers. Not only did they, bam, go here, 1 week, here's your trailer, and the next week, bam, here's your gameplay, and then, bam, here's your release date, it's coming out this year. Like, I don't see how you can top that. That's amazing. If you haven't played Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, please go play Fallout 3 right now and really get a feel for what this game is going to be like. It's made by Bethesda Softworks, and I couldn't be happier with everything that happened. It's my game of the show. It was Bethesda was the conference of the show for me. I really loved what happened on that Sunday. It was a magical evening, and I'm just super happy. What I want to do here now, guys, is ask you for your opinions, your thoughts. What do you like about the Fallout series? What did you like about this presentation of Fallout 4? What are you hoping for in the game? What do you predict in the game? And did you not like it? Let me know down below in the comments, guys. I want to say goodbye for today, but I also want to leave you guys on some gameplay footage of, I guess this is all hell breaking loose. And let's just go with that. I'll see you guys later. See you next week. Let's have a great conversation about this one. Peace.
Ready to fuck some shit up?
Got a doll baby, I love her so. Nothing else like her anywhere you go. A man, she's anything but calm. Regular kind size atom bomb. Atom bomb, baby, little atom bomb. I want her in my wigwam. She's just the way I want it to be. A million times hotter than TNT. Atom bomb baby, loaded with power, a radioactive at TV tower, a nuclear fission in the soul, loves with the electronics involved. Atom bomb baby, little atom bomb, I want her in my wigwam. She's just the way I want it to be, a million times hotter than TNT. Atom bomb baby, boy she can start one of those chain reactions in my heart. A big explosion, big and loud, like a tree right up on a cloud. Atom bomb baby, little atom bomb, I want her in my wigwam. She's just the way I want her to be, a million times hotter than TNT. Atom bomb baby, sweet as a plum, carries more water than uranium. When she kisses, there's no hitch, zero hour, she turns on the switch. Atom bomb baby, atom bomb, I want her, she's just the way I want it to be, a million times hotter than TNT. Atom bomb baby, little atom bomb, I want her in my wigwam. She's just the way I want her to be, a million times hotter than TNT.
It's good to be back.